It's getting quiet now. Israel should say, no. I'm not listening. I'm not listening to that chametz. You want the truth? The lost, those who are not saved, burn in the lake of fire. Yes. This is the second death. What part of death don't you understand? D, E, A, or T, H? Which one? Second death. The soul that rejects the love of Yeshua will die, not will live forever in hell. It will cease. The punishment will be termination. That's a second death. Yes. If the soul is immortal, how could it experience a second death?
Right.
But we don't learn that if we keep our ears open to chametz.
Yeah.
So where you go to fellowship is very important. What doctrine you're hearing from the bima is very important. It's more important than whether the rabbi has a sore throat or not.
Yes. Come on. I hear you.
Yep.
That's right. I'm with you.
Jim Yahweh.
So Pesach is child of Yahweh. You are Israel. You've been what? Redeemed.
That's right.
Then those next 7 days are a reminder that we are a work under construction, and the way to be acceptable to Yahweh is to do the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth day, what we did the first day.
Come on.
It's a beautiful, good message. It's good news. We got to do our part, though. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. What does the seventh day symbolize? The end of our earthly sojourn. And the glorification of our bodies, where there's no dying, there's no tears, there's no suffering, there's no sickness. In that day, Yahweh will be king over all the earth. In that day, his name will be one, and his kingdom will be one, and he will reign and rule on the throne of his father David. And sorrow and sickness and sighing shall flee away, somebody. So at the end of the 7 days of unleavened bread, Yahweh says, if you can do it for 7 days, I'm showing you your end, your destiny. Every one of you that allow me to sanctify you for all the days of your life, 7,000 years of human history, like I did to get you started on this redemption road, you're going to inherit the kingdom of my dear son. So, right, what is the purpose of Chag Matzot? To remind us it's not a one-time event. To remind us that we have to continually allow Yahweh to separate us. How long will it take? Here's the bad news. Your whole life.
Whole life.
You are not what Yahweh will make you to be, but you are also not what you used to be.
Amen.
I'll say that again. You are not what you used to be, but you are not yet what Yahweh will make you to be.
Hallelujah. We are on that road.
And so you are on Sion's road, the road of redemption that doesn't... Now notice the way Yahweh set this thing up for us. We are Israel, no?
Yeah.
Judah and Ephraim, the two houses coming together.
Yeah.
The way Yahweh set it up was, if we go forward to Canaan, we can't take their spoil, no chametz. If we can't go back to Egypt because they're going to kill us, no chametz. We can't find any chametz in the wilderness. Now you're getting the point.
That's right.
Keep it up.
So the whole purpose of the Chag Matzot was, Israel, never know how. If you don't allow chametz to come into your heart, I'll do my part. I'll make sure you're glorified in that day. The same way I make sure you were redeemed, I'll make sure you're glorified. When? Then. When? Then. When? Then. In that day.
What day?
It took me a lot of years to get here.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. You tried to escape once, we got you back. Right? Right? You came back.
Well, I came back because you are the best.
Well, Yahweh's the best. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Yahweh do it. Hallelujah.
I'm the guy with the horse throat. He's the guy that threw the horses to the sea. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Yahweh.
We have the horse radish.
Oh man. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
But how are we being sanctified? By instruction. What's the Hebrew word for instruction? Torah.
Torah.
Torah is not Jewish legalism. It is the medicine of sanctification. Torah is the panacea of sanctification.
Hallelujah.
Torah is the catharsis. Did I say that right? That cleanses you from chametz.
Yes.
No, instruction,
Because
Yahweh.
to go from redemption to glorification, you're going to need some instruction. And if you can't walk with Yahweh 7 days, keeping chametz out of your life, how are you ever going to get to the glory train? Yahweh says, you love me? Here's 7 days. Can you keep it out of your life and house? All right, I know you're going to go back, bring it back in on the 8th day, but let's start with 7. If you give me 7, I'll make sure Torah puts you on this road to glorification.
Hallelujah.
Yahweh.
So 7 is a test. It's a test of your purification.
Yes.
When you answered me in the beginning of this message, you said, I know what 7 is. I know what it's perfection. No, it's not just perfection, it's a test of your purification.
Amen.
If you can go through 7 days, Yahweh says, that's a Torah keeper. I can work with that person.
Yeah.
But how does that fit in with the Sunday morning mentality? Probably want a cracker. 7 days? How about 7 minutes? And then another service. 7 minutes? Out the door. Another. We do have the longest services in Dade County. It's true. I have people say, we don't come here anymore. You got the long... That's right. And don't you ever forget it.
We need it 12 hours. Time is short, gotta get that news out.
I tried making apologies, and the attendance got lower, so I stopped making apologies. I figured the people that want to hang will hang.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters, we're either going to hang together or we're going to hang separate.
No compromise.
No shank bone.
If we hang together, we'll be okay.
Yes.
How do we get through the 7 days? Oh man, Thomas's English muffins. Oh, gold. Who's gold? I mean Yahweh. Oh, my seeded bun. Oh, my Big Mac, my buns. How many more days? Eldridge, how many more days of this Pesach thing? How many more? My poundage is getting quartered. Baby! See what happens? I'm 3 days into matzah and I'm already losing it.
Did you get that? You got 4 more.
Oh, Father. Does that blow your mind? The minute we accept Yeshua, Yahweh says, now walk the unleavened road. It's a heavy calling. That's a heavy calling. Let's be honest.
Follow the Who's ever heard this?
7 days. The first day is Shabbat. The 7th day is Shabbat. What does that speak of? That speaks of what? 7,000 years. Amen? Salvation, sanctification, glorification. And we begin to wind down. What else does the first day symbolize? What else does the first day, the 15th of Aviv, symbolize? The first day of Chag Matzot. No, we're past Pesach. We've been redeemed. We're on the sanctification road, heading to glorification. What did last Wednesday really mean to us? Why did Yahweh say, just hang out for 7 days, keep comments out of your life, and you'll do fine? He didn't say that. He said, on the first day, I want you to have what? A Mikra Kodesh, didn't he? On the first day, as soon as you've been redeemed and forgiven, I want you to have a set apart what? Gathering.
That's right.
Didn't that what we did last Wednesday?
Yes, that's right.
Isn't that what we're going to do this Wednesday? Another Mikra. Why the first day of Chag Matzot? Why? There's got to be a reason to why Yahweh does things. Turn to your neighbor and say, there's got to be reasons to why Yahweh does things. I mean, couldn't he have said first, second, and fourth? Because what does Pesach represent? Your redemption.
Amen.
What does that first day represent? Eruzin. Your honeymoon and your betrothal to Yahweh. You're what? You're getting it, yes, you're getting it to your honeymoon.
That's right.
What does that mean, honeymoon? Is it easier to eat matzah on the first day of Chag Matzot than it's going to be on the 6th day? A lot easier. Yahweh gives you a day of chesed, or grace, symbolic of what? His engagement to you. In other words, you're doing it His way now. You're not doing it your own way now. And the first day is a little honeymoon, a little grace, because, oh, this matzah is a nice change. It's good stuff, man. It's a nice change. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes.
But by the 6th day, by this 5th day, it's like, honey, how many more days for this?
Leaven.
Eileen. But the first day, oh man, I don't mind. And then you're at, I don't mind. Oh, this matzah, it's not that bad, especially the onion and the egg type. I got salt and onions, and I even got chocolate matzahs. It's not that bad. And when we first get saved, it's easy, like the church teaches. It's easy. And if you get lost from Monday to Friday, come back next Sunday, get saved again. It's easy. And don't worry about getting zonked, because the Lord's going to take you out of the tribulation. He's just going to sprinkle those Jews with judgment. But He's going to take you out, so don't worry about it. You got nothing to worry about. Peace and safety.
Yeah.
So Yahweh gives us a little bit of a honeymoon. Are you with me?
Yes.
You don't have a care. First day eating is good. The matzah's not bad. Matter of fact, you wonder why you don't buy more. Turn your neighbor and say, you're a wanderer. But slow down now. Here comes 2nd, 3rd, and 4th day of Chag Matzot. This is known as the interim period after our honeymoon. We're still on the sanctification road. The chametz is out, but it's no longer Shabbos. It's no longer easy. Shabbat is fun. It's freedom. Now it's getting harder. And eating matzah for day 3, 4, and 5 can get old pretty quick. What is matzah called in Deuteronomy 16:3? What is another name for matzah? Thank you, Sister Melba. You got genius. It's called the bread of affliction. About the 2nd or 3rd or 4th day of eating matzah, you know why. Especially the kind my wife buys. Whole wheat. I'm like, where's my whole theory? It's a good time to get into my whole theory. Now she knows better. She buys sprinkled with salt. But that whole wheat matzah, no thank you. It's good. I know it's good. I know it's good.
Good for you.
I know it's good.
They got great matzah, great.
So it's called the bread of affliction. No kidding. The honeymoon's over. In other words, brothers and sisters, Pesach is followed by 7 days of Chag Matzah. You understand why Yahweh gave you a Shabbat the first day? To ease you into this thing. Showing you it's a lifetime with me. It's a lifetime of Torah keeping. It's a lifetime of obedience. It's a lifetime of Moadim. It's a lifetime of Shabbatot. It's a lifetime of forgiveness. Oh, forgave that. Boom, I took them back 5 times. Yahweh said you've got 485 left to go. With me?
Yes.
How many times do we forgive our brothers? 490. Why 70 times 7? The 70 weeks of Israel, or 70 weeks of Daniel. 7 being the number of getting the chametz out, Chag Matzot. We're to get the leaven of unforgiveness out for the entire history of the people of Israel. 70 weeks. Daniel chapter 9. Good stuff. Amen. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh.
And what happens right around the middle of the week? What happens right around the middle of the week?
Coming out of your ears.
We start looking for chametz. Right? How many more days? Nina comes to me, Daddy, I have a question. Yes, darling. How many more days to Chag Matzot? Why? Because you know what she's thinking about. So we're in the middle of the week and it's tough, just like I walk with Yeshua. It seems like Yeshua's never going to come. There are those who are falling asleep mocking his coming, saying, since the fathers fell asleep, all things remain the same. Most believers mock the second coming. It's one thing to disregard the rapture, but they don't even believe Yeshua is going to return. And so, in the middle of the week, it gets a little bit tougher. We see that sanctification gets tougher, not always easier. They lie to you. Being more like Yeshua gets tougher,
Yes.
not easier.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
When I first got, can we talk? We've been talking. Yahweh cut down on my sports. Now he's almost cut it out. I used to watch wrestling. Shh, don't tell anybody.
We knew it.
Lucha libre profesional. Boxeo profesional. Roller derby, derbies that roll. Basketball, baseball, softball, football, pool, billiards, tiddlywinks. I was addicted to sports. So when I first got saved, Yahweh showed me I was putting that before Yahweh. But I figured I'm into my 4th or 5th day on the Zion, on the unleavened road. He let me keep a little. Now I'm at the point now where he's even getting a little sports out of my life. I used to watch 9 innings. Now I watch 1 inning. Then in the middle of the 1 inning, guess who comes in? Your dinner's ready, sweetheart. I've only watched 1 inning. That's all you're gonna watch. I got saved. I used to read Isaiah and smoke a nickel bag. Then I used to take another joint and read Ezekiel. And I was getting revelations because I was saved. I was ready called to preach. I was no less saved then than I am now. I just held on to my vice. And then Yahweh sent a prophet into my life. Rebbe Rivka. She goes, you look like a fool, you act like a fool, and you're eating like a fool. And she said, it's either me or the pot. That was easy. I got rid of the pot. Don't want to keep my wife. So, I mean, this has not been an easy experience, but it's good. And the more familiar you get with matzah, the more you realize it's heaven's bread, it's sinless, and it's a better life. It doesn't mean you won't go through withdrawal. Amen?
Amen.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Yahweh.
He doesn't promise us an easy week, but he promises us he'll take us through. And when we get to the 8th day, we go, wow, this is the first year I didn't eat chametz for 7 days. This is the first year I didn't eat any chametz, yeast, or bread for 7 days. When we realize that Yahweh, listen, when we realize that Yahweh was able to take us through that 7 days, we can trust him for the rest of the year.
Amen. Hallelujah.
He could have made it easy. He made Passover one night, go home, and go get the cookies.
Yeah.
But he says, no, when that week is over, that you'll see, and your sanctification in this world is over, you'll see your immortality was worth the trials. Your immortality was worth the tribulation. Your immortality was worth the roadblocks. Your immortality was worth all those things that I didn't ask you, that I told you to give up. Because I didn't ask you, I told you. You'll look back and say, man, not only was it all worth it, I made it through the week. What's another way to say the week? The human experience. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Baruch
We
Hashem.
close with this. Philippians 3:1. Philippians 3:1. When we realize that these 7 days are a way for us for Yahweh to build our trust in Him, these interim days of sanctification, reminding us that Yahweh has delivered us from bondage. Amen? That He has delivered us from bondage. It builds our trust, and it keeps our eyes focused on the prize. I'm sorry, jump down to verse 14. Philippians 3:14.
11:40.
I press on toward the goal of the prize. Listen to me. If you and I can't obey Yahweh as Israel for 7 days, what's the rest of your life going to be like? You're not going to be living for Torah. You'll be back in the Polywana cracker system. 7 days, Reina. Yahweh says, give me 7 days to show that you can live a disciplined life before me. But when we go through the 7 days, we look back, we go, that wasn't that bad. Torah has its benefits. Healing, peace, Yahweh's love. Not His salvation. The salvation is given you as a free gift by the blood of the Lamb. We're not talking about salvation. You can't buy or earn your salvation. If you think the Torah can help you with salvation, you don't understand Yahweh's good news. The Torah is a waste of time for salvation, and Rav Shaul warned Timothy not to use the Torah illegally. In 2 Timothy 1:9, he says, those who use the Torah unlawfully are in error. How do you use the Torah unlawfully? By trying to use it for salvation. So what is the Torah? It is the way we identify to the world that we are Israel and that we love the Father. He doesn't need our chametz. He doesn't need our muffins. He doesn't need our homes. He doesn't need our raiment. He doesn't need our farms. He doesn't need our clothing. Yahweh has nothing. He needs nothing that you and I have. Only thing we can give Him is obedience. So the Torah is a way to show Him how much we love Him. Yes, it's a test. And what are the 7 days of unleavened bread? Are they not a test? Are they not a mini Torah? If you can't give up something that's dear to you, like ham, like sesame seed buns, if you can't give that up for 7 days, honey, you're going to have a hard time obeying Yahweh should Yeshua tarry the next 40 years. So the Chag Matzot is a litmus test where you are spiritually and where you believe you're heading. That's why there are 7 days, Ted. That's why it's not just one night. Now look at Philippians 3:14. I press on toward the goal of the high calling of Elohim in the Messiah Yeshua. And those who don't want to press forward through the 7 days, if you think differently, look at verse 15. As many then as are perfect should have this in mind. What does it mean? If you are on the road to perfection, have this in mind. Have what in mind? There is a goal at which the Chag Matzot points us to. If you understand that there's a goal, it's not just Yahweh taking away your cookies. It's not just Yahweh taking away your diet. It's not Yahweh just trying to starve you out of your comfort zone. If you realize that there is a prize and a goal that is only achieved by the highest of the called. Many are called, few are chosen. If you understand that, look at verse 13, then you have a perfect mind. And if you think differently, Elohim will reveal it to you. Don't worry about it. Couldn't Yahweh have done 1 day of Passover, 1 day of unleavened bread, and cut it? Because what was the first day of unleavened bread? When Israel was still in Egypt. Well, where were the other 6 days of unleavened bread? Out in the Red Sea, out in the wilderness.